I love that we all come together to support one another, to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Emma Barron. I am the Deputy General Manager for the Professional Beauty Dubai office, and it's my absolute pleasure to have Mary Pratt, founder of the Caviar Spoon, helping me host today's session. So before I introduce you to our guest, Charlotte, we are streaming live across multiple social media channels today, so welcome, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions whatsoever, please pop them into the comment box and I'll be happy to share these questions to Charlotte during and at the end of the session. So, Charlotte, hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Well, Charlotte's mute is on.
British contemporary artist, and today, hi, Charlotte.
Hello.
And today's session, we will be focusing on adding an experimental element to retail through art. So, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us. And where are you in the world?
I'm in London today. Sunny London, but London.
Sunny London, but London. So Mary is amazingly hosting this session with me today. So I'm going to hand over to Mary, and we're really looking forward to the chat.
Thanks, Emma. That's really, really great. And hi, Charlotte. It's so lovely to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for having me today.
No worries. I've been so excited about this webinar. And, you know, when we were talking before and I sort of look at your work and think, wow, so you contemporary artist, you know, you created a pop series, a pop doll series. And I would say I'm in competition because you really are the queen of collaborations. I gained that title a little while ago, but I'm a little bit scared because I keep seeing all of these collabs, Charlotte Posner popping up everywhere, and I'm thinking, wow. But it's so fantastic to see, and it's such a great way to diversify all of businesses. But I suppose my question, or a question which people have asked me to ask you, is when did it all happen? What was that sort of aha moment when you realised that collaborations really works? Was there a particular brand or someone approached you? What happened?
So with the brand aspect, I was going down Bond Street with all my artwork, showing a gallery some of my work, and I'd done a piece of Louis Vuitton. So they'd done a collaboration with Jeff Koons, and I'd done a little artwork of my pop dolls, which they consist of 5 women in a row, and then I make them into different themes. So I took it into the Bond Street store, I put the artwork on the side, and I took a picture for social media. And then I gifted the artwork with my business card to the manager of the store. And then 3 weeks later, I get an email saying, hello, Charlotte, we absolutely love your artwork. Can you come in and talk to us about potentially doing a collaboration? And I was like, yes, like 100%. So I went in there and we spoke about collaborating, and I ended up working on my first project with them 3 years ago now, and it grew from there. So I now do in-house artwork for Louis Vuitton. So I will paint an artwork, and I'm going to get an example for you in a second, and I will show you. And I'll do a standard artwork, and then I will paint the VIP clients that come into the store. I'll paint their portraits into the artwork.
Wow. So that's for anything, for cosmetic bags, luggage, handbags.
Yeah, it's mainly an artwork. So I would do so they would launch a new bag, and the customers would receive an artwork as a token gift alongside for coming into store for purchasing. So it's alongside their brand. So it's collaborating with creativity and the launch of a product.
That's amazing. Because I think sometimes people think there's a strategic way about how to get into collaborations and it takes years, but sometimes it's the most simple things And it does remind me of Carol Hatton, who owns Carol Joy London, and how she got her products into the Dorchester. It's very simple. It's for another webinar, but it was amazing. It was grabbing that moment in time.
I was thinking of Carol as you said that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because I think, what we see, Charlotte, and I see it in your website and what you do so much, is the amount of wellness and beauty brands coming through. So skincare brands, makeup, hair care, but there's also a huge market to make money, which is why there's lots of private equity firms and companies are being, brought out like QMS and Iconic and Drunk Elephants. It's a very profitable industry, but above and beyond the ingredients, it has to stand out and it has to be some kind of edge. But how, in your opinion, you've worked with a lot of skincare and wellness brands, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah. So the way I get on board, I will have a meeting with the skincare brand or with the brand. We'll sit down and we'll have a brainstorm. And usually they're very open, and I'm also open, and we create and we think out the box and we think creatively. And we will do all sorts of collaborations. So a lot of my work is done by pen and ink drawing. So I'm not a digital artist. So I'll come in and I'll do initial sketches with the client of their cosmetic brand, and we'll think about packaging, or we can think about an experience for the customer, how we can create a creative atmosphere around a new product or launching a product. So, say somebody was launching a new product, I could make it into one of my pop dolls. So I'd make it into an artwork and then we'd gift it to the client. We've worked around events like that as well. So the customers would come in and I'd paint in their portraits with the product, and then they'd take away a piece of art. So there's lots of way around being creative with a product that you can, merge together and come up with something.
Do you have any issues with, I know obviously we can all be very precious with brands. So we spend a lot of money going through the pillars and what our brand values are and what we stand for, what kind of person's going to buy that skincare. So do you ever get any pushbacks, or are there any alerts where you say, actually, you're going too far off your brand with this exercise? Do you have those experiences with brand, or, where you've had a brand such as skincare brand saying, I need to do something too big, and you're going, it's too much?
I've had it with a client where the colours weren't particularly right. But what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll do a few drawings for them. So I'll do 6 different drawings, then we'll filter it down, because I don't want to do a huge project with somebody and waste both of our times. So I'll do I'll do a few drawings. They'll pick what they like. They feed it back. Because when you're in a big corporate company, sometimes it's not as quick, you can't make quick decisions because there's so many heads and so many opinions. And I think a lot of the time it is people's opinion, at the end of the day. So if someone doesn't like something or does like something, it's just, different people talking different language. But you can always come together and, you can always come together and do something fabulous. And it works really well usually. I've had no problem.
And from your sort of standpoint, what would you say the risks are of brands or retail brands not evolving or not being more creative? From your experience as an artist, what does that lead to?
I think there's no project too big, so I think you need to think big. And I feel like it will lead, you can just play within a realm but not go, you get certain guidelines, you've got certain guidelines in a brand, but you can go off sway. I'm an artist, I'm working with a very structured brand. How do we come together? There is guidelines you stick to, but usually it's the brand name, there's certain guidelines, and then you work around them, and you can be creative around sticking to certain things, but you have to go off the beaten track a little bit. I think not be so rigid and just think a bit, out the box. If you had a product range which was all particularly white, for instance, like plain bottles, because a lot of brands are, and then I could come in and give it a twist with a splash of color, but it doesn't, you can still have the same, you have the same guidelines, you still have your same name, your same labels, but you can just give it a twist.
Yes, they'll have the same font, so you have the same fundamentals.
Yeah.
And from a sort of skin range, can you give us a couple of examples of what you've done in the past? So I think a lot of people think, well, we just, we have our bottles. I think they understand you can have an experience like a card with a bottle, but do you have any examples of where you've painted on bottles or skincare or anything you can show us? Because I think really it's
So I'll just show you a few of my. So this is a makeup bag that we've created. So all of my product has art on it. So I wanted to make wearable art. And so this is our little makeup bag. So I would customize the customer's name on the top of the bag. So I'll do a lot of in-house artworks where I will, this one as well, and then we've got the little lipstick pulley here. So my work kind of does filter into the cosmetic realm. So I'll customize on the actual product as an experience for the client. Then I'll do stuff, for instance, I worked with a brand recently, I worked with La Mer, and we did a live artwork session. So I painted their signature cosmetics, their favorite creme de la mer, and we did for all their clients and everyone that loves their product, we did a live art class, and we got loads of people on board, and it went really, really well. So it's a great way that people can then hang it on their wall, and it's just outside of the brand, but it's still within that kind of, it's within the same element of that. So you can do live. At the moment it's a little bit difficult with what's going on in the world, but in-store artworks, in-store product launches, you can do, around a product launch, I'd be there with artworks, customizing artworks for clients. We'd do a limited edition range as well. So you could have like a limited product where it was a bit special, or you collaborate with artists or designers, and that can all filter into into a range as well. But you have to think a little bit, not so rigid, and think outwards. Also, giveaways are a great thing. So you could do a limited edition giveaway product range, which is, a bit special, collaborating with an artist or a brand or somebody else. So that's a great one.
We had, there's one particular brand, we won't mention names, but they are fabulous. But their issue is their product, the ingredients are amazing. It works. I use it. It's great, but it looks very clinical. Mm-hmm. So what's happened is the older generation, they're still buying the products. So they like the products. They don't look at they don't look at the design. But the younger generation, which is the 30s upwards, which is really where you should be using some of the skincare, they really have suffered because it doesn't look that pretty on a shelf. So when I've been speaking to them and saying, well, perhaps have a range which is for that younger generation of the ones which want to have the pretty bottles but have that twist. And I think it's, as you said, it's understanding that you aren't changing the fundamental parts of a brand. You aren't changing the font or the spacing, but you're doing something with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so if a company came on board like that with me, I would look at the ingredients, pick all the different ingredients out, and I'd put that onto the bottle front and collaborate with the brand on the product range and put art onto the bottles. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And then you can have beautiful looking art on your shelves, lovely products that look wonderful, as well as usable as well. So you have to think about all the elements within the product, the aesthetics of the bottle, and the packaging as well. You can make beautiful packaging alongside the product.
Yeah, and that's great actually for things. I'm just thinking that the market is all about sort of vegan, clean beauty at the moment, and how cool you could actually make a design on a bottle. And with anything, the brand does sell. So even though I look at tea brands, and if you have a brand which looks great, you tend to kind of go for the look and then look at the ingredients and all the rest of it. But it's no different to successful brands, and that's why Drunk Elephant got sold for 845 million. It's something which made it stand out. What's been your most rewarding collaboration via this wellness and beauty realm?
Oh, that's a good question. I've had quite a few great opportunities. I think I worked with Shiseido. So it's really hard to choose from though. I went to Berlin with them, and they were doing a launch of their new products. And I did huge canvases, massive ones, like 6 foot, and they flew them out. And I painted stuff in the studio beforehand. So I did oil on canvas, I did spray painted big pop dolls, like my signature artwork. And then on the day, while they were doing like a weekend of makeup tutorials, I then was on a platform painting in the rest of the artwork. So it was like the creative aspect of applying product and makeup to making artwork. And then it all came together really well. And they used it as a backdrop at the end to do their photo wall with. So everyone had these giant pop dolls of their brand, of their new products, and it went really well. And I graffitied on them as well. So it was really good.
Yeah. And also the benefit as well is, you know, when you're working with these brands, you have a phenomenal network of people. And that's the whole thing of being able to piggyback off one another's brands. So they're going to be looking at, you know, that's going to be posted on your page. Then your people are then going to be looking at that brand. So there's a good crossover where you don't overspend on social media marketing and PR, because you're still magnifying each other's goods and services, but it's done in a way which works.
Definitely. If you work with brands that, you know, my following and their following together, it kind of introduces you to other people, and you don't need to spend a fortune on PR at all. I don't feel like you do. And the best collaborations come from, you know, helping each other out, networking with other people, and both giving and you both get. And some people meeting people and exploring new avenues with people. And you never know what will come. And usually it's the ones that you never expect for it to be a complete success, and it is. From trying. And you've got to try, you've got to get out of your box, get out of the zone, and really push and just try. You know, I believe everything's in your hands. It's always like one step away, so you can always contact someone, pick up the phone, give someone a call, send someone an email, just see what happens.
In a market that's so saturated, just following on to that, we've had a few questions of what examples do you have that are really outside of the box, especially here in the Middle East where brands are all over the place. How can they really stand out, and what are your best examples of that out of the box collaboration that you've done before that they could learn to potentially do themselves?
Okay, so you can work around lots of different events that happen. For instance, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you know, special occasions, Christmas. So Mother's Day, I went into a few stores, and I painted the mother and the daughter, or the son and the mother. So they brought their mothers in for a day experience. They had their facials done, makeup done, whilst I was hand painting a portrait of them, and they took it away and they absolutely loved it. And they have your branding on there. It's essential for retail stores to be doing this, to be giving the customer an experience, and it works really well. So around events, I'd definitely say get someone in there creating, giving something away, like working with the brand. So that's a great one.
That's amazing. I'm just thinking about that. What a simple but amazing added customer experience by having your hair done or going into an experience and having a sketch coming out of you and your family. That's incredible. And Charlotte, the other thing is, no, I had a lady and she texted me last week about this. So she works for a brand and it's about to launch, but it is very strict, and she's really trying to open up the CEO's mind in terms of collaborations and doing things like that. So they're on a realm of where they're very successful, but they're probably not from a creative side. But she's struggling in terms of how to convince them to really become a bit more relaxed and, you know, what to say and, you know, how to sort of chip away. And have you got any tips there? Because you must have had it with some of your other brands where there's been that pushback. So you've got half a team who want to do it. Then you've got the brand of a CEO police going, no, not going to do it.
I'd say,
how have they veered through?
Yeah, I'd say start with something very small and simple. So start with something little, maybe like doing like a little event or an in-house event for your company, and showing them how you can work creativity into it. And then I think when they've seen it or show them an example, it's brilliant to do. I think show them examples, and I've got the mentality of just try and do it. Like, I mean, if they're really, really adamant and they're not open to being creative at all, it's a little bit difficult. Or you could maybe take, if their packaging's very plain, for instance, take a packaging, wrap it round, show them that the potential of what they can do, show them examples of what other brands have done. And sometimes it's people that are completely not what you think at all, like something totally different. You could put, a skateboarding brand with a high-end designer brand, a new brand with an old brand, mixing, a paint palette color with a lipstick color and looking at the difference. Or I don't know, it's completely taking an object and linking it together and creating something else.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons there's in China, I think the Haiti brand is now collaborating with Rihanna's Fenty Beauty, but they have like the coloured teas, which then go the colours of a makeup. And it's those things, and you can go completely, think of Uber and Spotify, it's two completely different industries, but it works. So starting small and then sort of building up. What would you say has been the in terms of how you measure return on investment, how do you do that? So let's say with Louis Vuitton or with Le Mer, when you've had these things, how does a brand measure it, and how do you measure it? Is it purely through increase in followers, or purely through spend, or
it depends on the person. So it depends on what they want or what we want, what you're trying to gain. It's time as well, and it's how many artworks you do. So it's very much working with the client and what they feel is appropriate. Some things you can do way in advance. We set out marketing strategies beforehand, and we would see what they want. If they want an increase of following, usually giveaways are really great for that. So you can come together with a few brands and do a giveaway, because you reach a lot more following. So you say, put it onto Instagram, you've got a pack of things, and you tag a friend, and then you all come together as a big brand. That really does work for following. If you want to get brand exposure, there's different ways you can do that. You can, I think it's all different things work for different people. But if I'm working for a day, it's usually a day rate, and then per artwork. So it just depends. You have to, every company is different, every relationship's different, and I think you have to work around what people want and just be open and honest, and as long as you're true to your brand and true to yourself, I think you can really go far. And think of it out the box and try something different, try something you've never done before. It's all footfall in the stores. If you want to create more people to come in the store, how do you get that? You create an event. We did an amazing event with Harrods Beauty where they were opening their beauty halls, and I created an artwork with it was a big beautiful butterfly holding the Harrods bags, and we had queues around the hall of people that wanted something. So it's always lovely to have an event and then have something to take away from the event. So it just depends on the people and what they want, really.
Yeah. And do you have with your wellness brands, or the brands you've worked with, do they tend to do one-offs, or would it be, okay, we'll do a one-off event and we'll come up with an idea, and then we'll do projects which just continue? So it might be painting a bottle, and that range just keeps going on. What's the general consensus in terms of your clients?
I think a lot of limited editions are great. So I do a limited edition beauty bag. So I'd paint and make the beauty bag wonderful with the gifts inside, and they do a limited edition. So they've got a lovely bag that has all their products in it. Or we've done a few of those. And what other things? Events are great as well. So they'll plan an event around an opening of a launch of a product. So that's one. So generally it's very quick, and people like change, and they like different. They like consistency as well, though. So I think when you recognize a brand, you know that you're getting the same product all the time as well with branding. So you know you're getting high quality, you know what you're getting, you know that it's not going to change from month to month with the product, but the packaging and the way you present it can be very different. So you stick to your high standards of how you work, and you know, with our bags and with our products, we try and make them really, really high standard, beautiful products. So you know what you're getting, but the designs change.
Yes.
So you can play on the artwork and you can play on the designs of the products.
That's amazing. And I think, sorry,
with a corporate brand, so a lot of the brands we work with are big professional brands, you know, I'm not going to name names, but how would you change a corporate mindset with these kind of collaborative ideas in terms of, like Mary mentioned, the ROI? Do you have any case studies or any kind of golden nuggets of information that you can share that you've experienced whilst collaborating with these major brands in terms of the additional ROI they've made out of limited edition type pieces, or events you've done in terms of driving footfall to retail? Because I think that's really key here, especially. Any kind of, I don't know whether you can share the facts that you found whilst being involved, but I think corporate mindset's quite, you know, difficult with all the branded guidelines that so many of our brands that work with us have. But what could we share with them now that, you know, you've experienced in terms of figures, if you can?
I don't have the figures on me now, but it definitely generates more footfall, more people in the store, more people posting on social media. It's like a definite boost of everything, and everyone benefits. Like, I can tell you, billion, trillion % it works. Its sales go higher. People are more excited about the product. They feel like, you know, especially if you can do something where it's a collectible, people love a collectible. And if you can get your foot in and you can just give them they give you a chance. All you need is a chance to show them that it works, because it does work. They just have to think a bit more creatively. You know, it definitely does work. It works. Like,
it's that personalization, isn't it, that hooks everyone.
Everyone likes their name on their own bag. Everyone likes something they can relate to, that's personal to them. So, you know, if you had an artist who was, or, you know, I'd paint on the product, or you can paint on a bag, or you have something that relates to them, it definitely brings a lot to a brand, and it makes it more exciting. It's an event that someone can go to, and it's an event in a retail store. I mean, especially at the moment, we need people in store, and it's a talking point. You know, people come in, they'll have an experience with me, they'll Instagram me painting on the product, they'll take it away with them, they'll hang it on their wall, and they will post about it. And social media is such a powerful, you know, way of communicating. And even if it's baby steps, like a little, like events here and there, and there's pop-ups, people love it. It really, really works.
And it's also a fresh way. A pop-up is fresh because it's like a limited pop-up. So you come up, you go, and then you change again. So you're not changing the brand, but you're just keeping it fresh. And I think a lot of people, when in the consumer market, they get bored of a brand and go, oh, this looks prettier, so we'll go here. Whereas if a brand's always evolving without changing the core elements, it stays fresh. Even to a point of, you know, I look at yoga mats and think, my goodness, you know, yoga mats are just missing a trick, where you could have your personalized yoga mat, a really cool, you know, print of some sort on this. You go for your retreat and it's all about wellness and, you know, balancing out. But there's all of those things which people love, as you say, Charlotte. You know, we love that extra touch. Even doing a live arts class with a brand. Yeah, that's an amazing way. It's cost effective.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost an absolute fortune. Whereas you could do that for your day rate, and that's probably spent on, say, a Facebook advert campaign, or a month's worth of, you know, booster ads. Which, how do you know that really happens? You know, if you keep people with people, that's where you humanize the experience to start loving the brand.
And it's making the community as well, and giving people a sense that they are welcoming, and you do want to help, and through creativity you can achieve that. So the art classes are a definite, they went really, really, really well. Painting the classes, we got loads of people on board, they took away an artwork, I think thinking out the box. But if you've got these huge corporate companies, there is movement. I mean, I've worked with some really, really incredible brands, and they are open they've all been open to doing events and doing different, they come up with ideas, I come up with ideas, we bounce off each other, and they've worked really, really well. Well.
It's a great the retail collaboration, especially here, would just work wonders. And I think for those who are watching that have retail stations in Harvey Nicks or wherever, should definitely look at doing these VIP limited pop-up experiences, because as you say, you might love a brand, you might be a consumer that loves a brand, but it just makes you feel that extra special. So yeah, I think that's a great tip.
Yeah,
really good. And we're kind of running out of time. Let's have a look at the time. So we're kind of up to 30 minutes. But Charlotte, I think after this, we'd love to see some of the photos and the products and show people, because it's absolutely, I completely believe in this. And from a collaboration point, my whole business is based around collaborations. And it's fundamentally the core that you have to be open, but you can open up so many other doors by coming together with different skill sets to kind of expand and grow. But what would be your key takeouts that you would like to sort of leave on today, to pass on to people who are watching?
Okay, I would say keep your core brand, your core brand staple overview of who you are, but give it a twist. Try working with an artist, try working with somebody who's creative, and repackage or do something on the side. Definitely do a pop-up or somewhere where you can do giveaway of something unrelated to your brand, which has your brand logo on it. So you could give away a key ring or something that relates to your brand but isn't your brand. Try doing limited edition products and doing only a certain amount, because it does make a difference when it's limited. All our products are limited, all my artwork is limited, and it makes it more special, and also it will increase in value, so you can do collectibles of your product. I think keep really, really open-minded about being creative. Don't be so rigid and stuck to your ways. Think creatively, and really try and push your brand. I mean, anyone's welcome to message me afterwards if you want any ideas or a chat, or you want to see how we've worked with brands before. Like, please do reach out, and I can help in whichever way I can. Think bigger than yourself. Think about creating an event around a product, and then you can have an artist there, or painting, drawing alongside the product, and just keep pushing and keep elevating, and don't be scared of change, because I think change is great. And take a risk. If you don't try, you'll never know.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that one.
Yeah, give it some freshness, give it a bit of like va-va-voom, and just go for it. You never know what's going to happen, and just be really open-minded about it. For those who are in a corporate company and you're a bit stuck in sticking to certain rules, maybe you can have another section in the brand which is a bit more creative, and you can launch something else into it, or show them some examples first. I think when people don't have it visually in their mind, sometimes they find it difficult of how it's going to work, but you just need to go for it. I really believe in just try and see what happens.
And that is why you're the queen of collaboration, Charlotte Posner, because you're amazing.
Oh.
So Emma, has there been any good questions coming through? Or?
I think just to add on to that, anything that's Instagrammable as well, as you said before, is really key. That personal, cool image, Instagrammable, tagged, will really help the brand with free marketing exposure, like you said.
Also, products can be used for other things. We have our candle here. So we've had the candle, the scent is beautiful, but you can also use this afterwards to put your pens in, or use it for something else, especially in today's day and age with, the no one-use plastic and being environmentally friendly. Think about how you can use the product for something else. And I think that's also great. If you've got like a little tube, you could use it to pop your makeup brushes in afterwards.
Yeah, and also highlighting that to the consumer that's about to buy it, that it's a durable kind of product that can be used more than once as well, is really key.
Yeah.
We've got a question that's just come in through this webinar. Claire is a mindfulness-led wellness spa brand.
Mm.
What would you suggest that would be different for her to collaborate with in the wellness industry?
Okay, if she wanted to do something more artistic and creative, she could do a wellness to draw. So she could do a drawing class. So, she could link in with another artist and do an hour's drawing, painting, teaching people how to be mindful in a different way. So she could, it's not just I think you can work with other people in a really, really great way. It doesn't have to be you that's always the forefront. So you can let someone else come onto your platform, do a takeover. You could do art and mindfulness pairs perfectly together. When people are doing drawings and paintings, it is a great way for them to switch off. So I'd get an artist on board. I can always, give her ideas and talk to her about having an hour of people drawing and painting. She could also make a product range of what she's doing. So she could do we do customized yoga mats. We do customized yoga caps with people's names on, so she could be more personable with her clients. But yeah, let other people come on board and talk about what they're doing and do some art and drawing and painting, I'd say.
It's great.
Yeah, fab. So another question's coming. It's from quite a big skincare brand. They are launching a new collection in autumn, so October. What could they do extra for their launch party that you think would be really outside of the box for this, and maybe something that's, something massively different? I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to show you just a little example of. So this is what I did for Louis Vuitton. So I did all the artwork of their new jewellery range, and then I painted in the face of the clients. So this is the type of thing they should. So if they've got a new product launching or something happening, have a creative experience. You could have a drawing or painting done of the new bottle, of the new cosmetic range, and then an artist can be there painting and drawing in. So every customer takes away a piece of art. You have your branding on it, the artist signs it. So it's a great way of doing it. You can also have customized artwork. So, and then all the artwork can be on the invitations as well. So, you could get an artist to come in and paint the invitations beautifully, watercolors, get their brand on point. So I'd go back and forth with the client, they'd go back and forth with the artist, and they would make sure that their invitations are spot on with the brand, with the colors, everything. You could also have a backdrop for the event to match. So you could have a hand painted backdrop that matches with the invitations, that matches with the free artwork that customers are getting of the product. And it is a great, great way to make a really fun, cool event. And the food can be related. You can have like little nibbles that relate to the work. And like the whole event, music, like make a whole big thing about it, and let people take away a piece of art. There's also with Nicholas Kirkwood, we did a shoot. They launched new shoes, so I then paint in the client's hair. If they've got a dog, I'd put their dog in there. If they like a certain drink, I'd put their drink in there, and then they'd take that away. I'd put glitter on it. I'd put customization on the name of the product, and they love it. And people, they're getting a piece of art, and everyone's benefiting because it's exposure, social media, posting, and it is a great fun event. And you will have queues of people wanting the artwork, and then they're putting it on their wall with your brand. So it's just a no-brainer.
Yes, it's ongoing PR. And I think that, with that, there's a big thing, and I'll probably be told off for saying this, but in the Middle East, everyone is too reserved because you should do it a certain way. So if you have a backdrop, that backdrop should be for every single event. If you have an invites list, and this is a big thing in the Middle East as well, and I think it's globally, an invite return would be, say, 50% drop. Whereas if an event's done properly, or a pop-up's done properly, or what you talk about is done properly, people are just gagging to be there. There is putting the red rope across there, and also they walk away with something very personal. Their skincare range with their picture, with their dog, with the skincare range.
People never get enough of art as well. Everyone loves an artwork. They love a freebie, and you can collaborate together and and do really, really great things. Yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely. I could keep talking to you for hours, Charlotte, but we'll run out. Emma, is there anything else? Any other questions come through?
I'm just having a look. Sorry if I'm kind of darting around various platforms. How many times a year would you suggest having these collaborative events or doing something extra special for a brand? Just because if you do it more than X amount of times, would you lose that VIP kind of limit editionness? What would be your suggestion?
I think it depends on what you're launching. If you've got one product that you launch once a year, you should do one. If you've got a product that you use 4 times a year, do 4 product launches. People love an event, they love getting involved. And I don't think you can ever do too much of something. And especially when there's like people collect the artworks alongside the products. But do something different every single time. Don't keep it stagnant, keep it different, keep it fresh, keep a new theme and keep it fresh, and people will love it. So it really does depend on your brand and what you're doing. So if you've got a specific thing you want to do, work towards that, and just feel what feels right for you. Obviously your budget, events cost money, there's always a budget for events, but I think they're very important, and I think you just need to get out there with your product. So it's great to create events around your product launches.
Absolutely. And as Mary said, we have a real struggle with getting people who say yes to actually turn up here in the Middle East for whatever reason. So actually having these, extra experiences for any brand or, whoever's listening, even if you're a salon or a spa owner, having extra experiences within that property, within that retail space will really drive traffic.
You need me there.
to your brand or to your, I know.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good takeaway, and I'm going to put your Instagram handle on our social media pages for those who are watching and within this chat. But yeah, any final thoughts before we end the session?
I think be creative, be vibrant, be open, and just do your thing. Think outside the box. Think big, think outside the box. Keep doing what you're doing, and all the little baby steps lead up to something bigger as well. Like everything you do, like keep driving forwards. And like sometimes you can be like, oh, it's not, some days are not so good, some days are better, but if you keep striving towards your goals, and also your goals don't always end up where you think they will as well. Like I think it should flow very beautifully, and like sometimes it goes off track, but off track is the way forwards. And when you've got a complete direct link of where you're going, sometimes it doesn't work so well. All the best things that have ever happened to me have always come from the off the whim kind of things that you don't ever think are going to be anything. I think that's the same goes for life generally as well. If you plan too much, they say when you plan, God laughs. Like it's like the same.
It comes when you least expect it.
Exactly. What you expect happens, and just enjoy the journey as well. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and just enjoy the ride of creating your brand.
And I think from a sort of a final point on that side is the humanized touch is where it's going. So even though it's all about social media and your followers, I think for brands, when I sort of consult with brands as well, is looking at your budgets and looking at how much money you spend on things which may or may not work. So if you're paying PR, marketing, social media, but you're not physically getting on camera or working with people, the return may not be what you think. So to be able to pepper in some of these experiences and collaborations, you're then going to be able to measure, what works, being with another human who has a great network, and we're both working together and striving together to make this a success. Because if you're doing a collaboration with Charlotte would be posting as well, you'll be posting. Or are you going to spend the money on just booster adverts? This is a big thing to kind of finish off, is looking at that and thinking, okay, where can we experiment? If you're a low risk taker, you might experiment with one event. If you're a high risk taker, you might say, right, let's do 4. But again, it just depends on the brand. But I think what you're doing, Charlotte, is absolutely amazing. I mean, absolutely admire you, and I look at your page all the time and think, wow, she's got it. So I can't wait for you to be on a platform and doing some more stuff with us in the Middle East.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Charlotte, for your time today. It's so interesting and some great takeaways for brands and spa properties here in the Middle East that I'm sure will benefit. And as I said, I'll put your Instagram handle into the chats on our various pages for people to connect with you later on. So thank you so much for your time, and it was lovely to meet you virtually, and hopefully we see you in the Middle East very soon. And yeah, Mary, as always, thank you so much for helping us host this session. Queen of collaborations in one room, which is just fantastic.
Two queens.
So thank you everyone for joining, and it just leaves me to say stay safe, stay well, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Bye.